Hey guys, Christian from Shouts Films back here again today, and I'm actually getting back to my regular upload schedule now. If you haven't seen the last update video on it, be sure to go and check that out. I'll leave the link in the info card, I think, right about up here, maybe on this side. I don't remember which. I really get confused trying to do it. Look at this little LCD screen, trying to remember. But anyways, so today, you can probably guess by the title, I am talking about why I make films, or why I chose to be a filmmaker. And I have covered this story roughly, very roughly, in Chris Vlogs. I'll have the link to that probably in either another info card up here somewhere or down in the description, so you can go check that out if you want to watch it. But I'll kind of leave you to watch that video if you want to go see that and see kind of like the origins of how I got into filmmaking, or at least like my progress through the years of, you know, where I started out wanting to be, and then where I ended up going through, like the stages I went through before I decided filmmaking. Also, I want to apologize really quick. There's going to be a lot of background sounds. I'm doing my best to keep them down, but I'm just kind of in a busy environment. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't really get much choice about that, but that's all right. So anyways, the reason that I make films is actually, it's a little more difficult to really explain the way I want to. Essentially, it boils down to the fact that I am addicted to stories. I love storytelling, and I love, you know, I ingest so many different stories every day, whether it be through reading, through watching videos, through audio dramas or music, you know, all sorts of different ways to take in stories. But the one that's like always held my attention the most and that's captivated me the most has been films. I grew up loving movies, and granted, there was a whole array of them that I went through throughout the years, and it really transitioned from like kid movies, you know, kid friendly, and then like before even my preteens, I started getting into horror movies like Saw and Resident Evil. They started to become like my favorites. So then, I don't know, there's something to a story that really drives me, and like a really well done story can hit me emotionally and spark something in me, I guess. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I want to be the one telling stories. I want to have my story out there. Maybe not my personal story, but a story that I created. I want that to be out there for everyone to view. And I don't like these, you know, boring stories. It's just action-packed, and it's some sort of like fictional idea, some sort of fictional ending that, you know, humans can't really relate to. Take Transformers, for example, trying to save the planet from alien robots using this like ancient artifact that they have. Like, it's just stuff like that to me is ridiculous. I want something deep, meaningful, and impactful. Something that I feel I can really relate to, and not just through analogy, something like literal. So I tend more to creating stuff like dramas, but I also want to implement this in horrors too, and kind of make it like its own type of thing, and more like realistic stuff, you know, something like that I said really hits home to just about anybody. And I guess, you know, obviously I gotta be a little more niche than that. You can't just be like that broad and just assume that you're gonna hit everyone and make it work. Obviously you gotta be a little more direct and stuff like that, and that's why some of my favorite films that I made, like one of my favorites that I've made so far is actually the first one that I made, Priceless. And that's because it had a really deep and personal story, and one that actually I have somewhat experienced to a degree. Now, obviously, it's hyper exaggerated since it's a short film. I didn't go through the exact same things, but I've experienced similar things in life, and just being able to share that story was so meaningful, and like in such a way that actually touched other people. And, you know, there's a reason it's my most viewed video on my channel. While the production value's not very good, the directing's not very good, the acting is blah. I mean, I had very amateur actors, mostly just friends from school that I grabbed, which is okay. But the story behind it is what drove so much of it and brought out so much emotion that people fell in love with it. And that's also the reason it ended up going to a film festival and almost placing. I think it was close. But regardless, you know, those are the kind of stories I like to tell, and that's why the first films I did were Priceless, Frozen in Place was very meaningful to me at the time. Still actually kind of is right now, I'll be honest. Double-Sided was a little bit different. That one was more, a little less emotional, a little less more direct, a little more fictional. Just a story that I had created years ago that, you know, had depth to me, but honestly I still feel it's an impactful film, or it has the potential to be. I do plan on expanding on it later, hopefully, so, but not talking about that right now. And then I went on to do other stuff. I kind of put down that hat for a while, and I don't know why, because then I did stuff like Triple S, I did Extreme Close-Up, which was just a really dark one, and I did all of my my microfilms lately, like Count to 10, The Streetlight. The Streetlight, that does have meaning behind it, but it's more symbolic than anything. You know, and just that kind of stuff. Like, I want to get back into the deep, emotional, impactful stuff, but in my brain, I've kind of been trying to save it for feature films and stuff where I feel I can expand on it properly, but honestly, short films are a good avenue for it too, and I really want to capitalize on that more. But you know, like I said, that's the kind of thing that brought me into filmmaking. Why filmmaking specifically for storytelling? Well, for one, it's a huge media nowadays. There are so many people that watch movies. The number of them probably highly outweigh the number of people that read books. I haven't actually looked up statistics on that yet, but I feel like that avenue is way higher, and I could reach a lot more people with it because it's like the new normal. But at the same time, I also love it because it's just such a unique art. There's so many different components to it. It's not like writing a book. It's not like, you know, you've got one person sitting down every day, just constantly writing away until they've got a story, sending it off to an editor, having them review it, sending it to a producer, having them, you know, do all of that stuff. Whereas this, there's so many components. You gotta first write it, which I love writing. Then you've gotta plan it. I enjoy planning. I'm a very meticulous person. I love numbers, and I love logic and reasoning and stuff like that. And then you've got to film it, which at a very early age, I got into cameras. Like age 10 or 11, I started making Lego videos and posting them on YouTube just because it sounded like fun. And I really got into using cameras. It makes, you know, it's just, it's so special to be able to hold a piece of technology like that in your hands and realize, hey, I am creating something with this little device. Granted, what I'm using right now is not a little device, but regardless, the same principle applies, and it was that level of satisfaction. So filming, awesome step. I love filming. And then you gotta edit it. That part, I'll be honest, is probably my least favorite of the steps, but it is also the most satisfying part, because it's when you see all of the pieces of the puzzle that you've been building finally being put together. You can see everything coming into place. You can fix up some mistakes where you made them if they're not too bad. And that's when you truly make the art. And putting all of these different things together, I love every aspect of filmmaking. And that's part of why I love it so much. I have such a huge passion for it because even just this video, I had to write up the script for it. I had to plan a time to shoot it. And I had to plan out what gear I was going to use to shoot it. And then now I am actually shooting it currently. I had to set up this whole stage area. Actually, I have my key light over here with a softbox around it. I've got my microphone right here. I've got another bounce over here, another light hitting this wall over here, my camera and tripod. I have my 5 by 7, my 5 foot by 7 foot green screen acting as a sort of noise reduction screen right now behind the camera. And there was a lot of work that went into just setting up what you see and hear right now. And then after this, I'm going to have to go home. I'm going to have to edit it all together, possibly with some B-roll, added some music, titles, intros, outros, all of that sort of fun stuff. Then I got to upload it to YouTube, and then I got to add in like title cards, end cards, do all of this stuff for it. It's such a time and labor intensive process, and that's another thing. I love to work. I love to keep busy. That's why most of the times, especially lately, I've been struggling to even just let myself watch TV shows or movies because just sitting down and being inactive feels so wrong to me. So if I'm gonna sit back and relax and do anything other than working, I'm playing video games because at least it's keeping my hands moving, it's keeping my brain active and thinking. I'm not just sitting there mindlessly staring at a screen. It still keeps me somewhat active. I'm pretty much active from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed. and I usually get about 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. I know that's not much, but it's also not that little either. It's just about kind of like that midpoint for me that's perfect. But that's how much this stuff consumes me. That's how much I love to work, is I'm constantly doing something. Sure, I take my moments of rest throughout the day, as you should. Everyone should have their breaks. But the grind never ends. And as long as I'm working and I'm in a good mood, I am happy. So that's what I love doing. And since this is so labor intensive, it takes so long to get one project done. Like this one video alone will probably take me a total of 6 hours to actually complete. Granted, half of that is going to be editing at least, but there was the time it took to write it. Like I said, plan it, shoot it, edit it, all going together, all taking all of that time. But it's the satisfaction at the end of it too, because the more time I spend on a project, the more satisfied I am by the end of it, knowing how much time and effort I put into it. And that it keeps me occupied for that much longer, because I can focus on a certain project for as long as I need to for the most part without getting too weary or drowned out or bored of it. And it keeps projects flowing. And while I'm working on a project, I might even have an idea for another project. Like right now, I am probably backlogged about 30 to 40 projects. I have 30 to 40 things planned to shoot, and that's YouTube videos, short films, outside projects, web series, everything that I have planned, and that's just shooting. I've got stuff in writing right now, I've got stuff in editing that I'm working on, so I am really backlogged, but the thing is, I keep working on it, and I just get what I can. And I enjoy the process the whole way. And, you know I said that this video is about why I make films. And it's really just because I'm addicted to the whole process. I have a severely addictive personality. Like, I have to drink coffee every day, or my body goes out of whack. I have to, like I said, work, or I get either really bored, I get really antsy, or I just get really frustrated. If I don't get anything done in a day, or if I don't feel like I've accomplished anything that day, I get frustrated with myself, and it usually makes it hard to sleep at night. So, and you can tell I'm probably a very fidgety person too. That's another reason that film helps me. It keeps my hands active. I mean, not right now, obviously, but still, there's so much fun to be had with all of this, and I don't know why. I don't know why I find it so fascinating. But actually, I was listening to the Indie Film Hustle podcast yesterday, and I don't know if any of you have heard of that. If you haven't, go check it out. It's fantastic podcast for indie filmmakers, and it's helped me out so much. But I heard filmmaking described yesterday as like a mental STD, like the mental equivalent of herpes. I know it's a weird analogy, but hear it out. It's one of those things where it's like you get it and it's there forever. You'll have spurts of it where it really comes out and it's there. You can't get rid of it. It's right in your face. It consumes you. And then there are periods where it kind of fades away. It's still in the background, kind of nagging at you, just very lightly, but it never goes away. It's always there with you. And that's really how it is for me. Once I started doing this, it became an obsession. And I absolutely love making films with every fiber of my being, and I really want to do it a lot more than I am right now. But I understand this business is a grind. It's going to take me a long time to work and work and work to be where I want to be at. And where I want to be at is just doing films for a living and stuff like this. Anything regarding video is what I want to do. And that's going to take me a long time to get out of, because I still have to keep the bills paid, so I've got to be working a normal job. So that in my off hours is when I get to do this type of stuff. And for the most part right now, I'm asking people to act and work for free, because that's all I can afford. So until I start gaining traction, until I start gaining ground, this is what I'm going to be doing, but I'm still loving every second of it. The money doesn't mean anything to me. Being able to do what I love means everything to me. And if there's one message I want to share with all of you today, it's that if you have that one thing that you love doing with every fiber of your being, and I know it's cliche, never let it go. No matter what it takes, even if you have to work that normal 9 to 5 and then do all of this in the off time, that you have, every spare second of your day should go into doing what you love. Or refreshing yourself so that you're able to do what you love. That you have the energy and the mental capacity to do the things that you want to do. And you may never escape that 9-to-5 job. But that's okay, because you're still doing what you want to be doing. Writers don't give up just because they have a normal job to pay the bills. They've been waiting for months to find that producer that'll pick up their book and run away with it and make millions of dollars. There's painters doing the same thing. Musicians. Any kind of artist that's just doing what they want to do, creating to create, creating for their soul. And it's keeping that soul fed that makes life awesome. And that is the message I want to leave you guys with today, because I know I've been rambling on forever, and you're probably done listening to me talk with my weird hair and my kind of nasally voice and all of this weird noise that's in the background. I don't blame you, but if you're going to at least hear one thing from this video today, I want it to be that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really had a good time doing this video. I didn't script out any of this. I kind of just went with it, and it took me on such a roller coaster that I didn't expect to go on, but man, it feels good. So thank you guys again for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more of stuff like this in the future, more of my short films, tech reviews, budget tips and techniques, I'm probably going to start doing some tutorials soon. Be sure to click that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can stay updated on all that. And if you want, also check out our website. We have everything pretty much posted there, with a few other blog posts as well if you prefer to read rather than watch or listen to my annoying voice. Go ahead and check that out. Thank you guys again. I will see you all next time. Have a great day. Peace.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends I won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh look who's reaching out. Old friends wanna feature now. They don't work, so they need it free. Ooh.